Imagined he had killed me.
His wife experienced the utmost violence that I can ever think of.
If he had done it when we were in Kampala, we would have killed each other.
All forms of violence have been talked about, except intimate partner violence.
IPV is termed as domestic violence.
It happens in bedrooms, it happens behind the veil.
I was tired of fighting.
We can actually live a violent-free society, and let's talk about it.
I got into that relationship when I was about 19. I was in college. He had just finished university. I stayed with him, but it was always war. He didn't want me to have any friends. If my friends came, it was a quarrel. What are you talking about? If I went, who were you with? Why are you gossiping? If I accompanied somebody to the road, that would be quarrel. If I went to a neighborhood when there is a vigil, then I would sleep outside.
My maternal uncle is a father of girls, 4 girls. His wife experienced the utmost violence that I can ever think of. Because they were like, so you're producing us useless human beings, the girls. And my cousins were hearing these words. My auntie, his wife, was like, why don't you produce us a hair? And it was later when I joined senior 2 and I learned about Y chromosomes and X chromosomes that actually that was not her issue. The determination of the sex of a child is by a man. But it was all meted onto this woman, even by outsiders, and even my uncle was a participant. My aunties were participants.
My father-in-law called me, and we had been having a lot of friction, so I thought maybe it is just about reconciliation and resolving the impasse that we had in the family, because we were together, but we were actually not together. We were just friction all the time. So I said, okay, this my home is also that side. For the first time, this man dropped me at the bus park. This is 10 years. Gave me 40,000, which he had never done in his life. The highest money he gave me was 40,000. And I went to that bus park, Ugandan, and I climbed the bus. I left my daughter, she was about 2.5. I found so many people there. I told them what is happening. So my father-in-law told me, this meeting has been called by your husband and he's on the way coming. They called a meeting, and then when we were in the meeting, then he said, my wife wants to kill me, kill the children, and I think I can no longer stand it. I want her to go. So I asked the question, is this for reconciliation or is it something else? Then the brother stood up. We are tired of you, you go. I asked him, is it true that you want me to go? He said, yes, I even have your property in the car. Then I asked him, 12 years. My property in a Pajero. He said, that can't be right. The father-in-law said, no, I think it is only anger. You can go home, you can separate a bit, then you resolve the matter. It doesn't really matter. I think this is just a disagreement. Because I wasn't even willing to fight. I was tired of fighting. And I think this was a godsend, because if he had done it when we were in Kampala, we would have killed each other. But God prepares ways that you cannot understand. He takes me there so that he does it in public, and then I go. So when they took me, he was with his brother in the car. So they drove. When we reached Muhanga, they reached the stage that goes to Kabale. And then he tells me, get out. I said, but this is not home. So I went back home. It was around 6. It was raining. He left me there. Lucky I got a taxi at that time. I arrived home around 10 p.m. My father and mother were devastated. But for me, in the pain that I had been humiliated that way, I said, it's okay. I'll start a new beginning. I'll continue. I'll finish my studies. And so the next day, my father called him and he said, she's coming back. Her property, take it to my son in Ugorod. When I came back, I followed the children in schools. He had changed the schools. No child was in the school. I left them. I think intimate partner violence is normally not because the person doesn't love the other. Rather, the insecurity that comes with the person seeing you, they love you, you are looking nice, but they feel that if you left that place that day, you will be taken on by someone, you are going for prostitution. So it wasn't easy. When you are there inside, you don't feel like there is an out. You imagine that when I get out, it is going to be worse because this is the one you know. You get it? This is what you are used to, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 years. People even fear to talk to you because the person is violent. They know if they do, you'll be hurt more. Because at one time my sister told this man, what's wrong with you? Look at my sister. She came when she was young and very jolly. You have made her. You want her to look like Ovai Maskini. And the man said, go away. And he would tell me, they even gaslight you against the people you like. That one is trying to make me look ugly. She's the one who doesn't want you to be in marriage. But if you carry it, you will not even listen to what other people are saying. Because one, he doesn't want you to see people. He doesn't want you to visit. He doesn't want visitors. He doesn't want you to go to a burial. He doesn't want you to go to a party. If he goes to a party, he will tell them you refused. So that people think you are bad. So when people know you as bad, they will not engage you. They will not even talk to you. They will say, this woman is bad.
Many people choose to massages because of our culture, because of the church. What will they say? What will my mom, my dad say? What will my friends, my family say? What will society say? But the end result, we have actually seen people losing even their lives as a result of choosing to live with intimate partner relationships.
But we also see that men have beaten women into no confidence, loss of confidence. You see, a person is a bank manager. They are leaving their job to appease the man. Or leaving whatever you are doing to come and appease the wife. However much you do, if a person is a problem, they will continue being. So the silence is for real because women don't have confidence, and I'm talking about the women I know. Our corporate women, confidence levels 0, esteem levels 0. You know, intimate partner violence doesn't really get attention. Not from police. We never got any support from police. They would say, you just go home and resolve. And each time you go, it gets worse.
But on a sad note, not all cases are reported at police. Many cases take place in families, in the communities, but are never reported. We only get a few of them being reported at police. In 2003, that's last year, the annual crime report gives a number of 14,681 cases of intimate partner violence. Call them domestic violence. To us, it is registered as domestic violence. 15,184 victims of this violence. 10,792 women were affected as a result of this violence. 3,243 men were affected. So what we are seeing is that this violence affects both men and women. it does not segregate.
The police rarely comes in unless there is a murder or a grievous harm. They always want to see blood to act. I don't know how we can change the mind of police, the family and children's court. If people are fighting, people are not looking at each other, why do you insist they go back and live together?
When we are handling these cases, we do not give advice, but we give a wide range of options so that that victim can choose what option is best for them. So once they report these cases at police, we are looking for the ingredients of the offense that fall under the category of physical abuse. We look at economic abuse, we look at psychological or emotional abuse, and then we look at sexual. But there are cases that child and family will deal with entirely, and there are those that will be investigated by CID. If it is physical violence and the doctor, upon examination, categorizes it as grievous harm, then that one shifts to CID. But if it is harm, yes, child and family can handle, but with the guidance of the OCCID.
Red flags in relationships are as early as the first day you meet a person. If a person is rude, a person is abusing another person, you can see. A person has stories of me, I'm strong, I can beat. Please just know those are red flags. And you don't need the whole day. People can camouflage, but you will always get a red flag. The way they speak, the way they make gestures, it's very easy to know who this person is.
Violence has been sort of normalized. And it is going to continue until we see what are the root causes. It comes back to the families. It comes back to our how we are raised. The languages that we use. I come from Western Uganda, and one of the words they say is omukazi naye aterwa. A woman is who is beaten. Really? So and I'm a father of daughters. So you want to do my role by beating my daughter, who you have married?
We need to pick pointers on how to avoid intimate partner violence.
I think we need a policy, first of all, a policy that creates an enabling environment. We want to talk about these realities. Issues to do with intimacy, sex, it is so much into bedroom stuff. Let us talk about them, even with adults, even with our children, because for us, that will actually help us so much to address some of these challenges. Someone gets into a reality of life because they have grown, they're 18, but they do not know what they're getting into. So it is important for us to create that enabling environment, and we can't do it without a policy.
Also, we need to remember that they are very good men. And later on, after about 7 years out of my separation, I remarried a very nice man. And this man, I told, I'm not going to cook, I'm not going to clean, I'm not going to lawn mow, I'm not going to wash, I'm not going to produce children. And I told him, if you are willing to do that, to go that mile, that will be the love that God loved the church to submission. This man loved me. He cleaned all my tears away. We wedded in 2009. Unfortunately, he was murdered in 2019. But he has made me love marriage. The other time, I would burn fire on anything called a man. Marriage is about companionship. It's never about violence, never about obligation to cook. We can both cook, we can both take care of babies, we can both clean the house. It shouldn't be by force. It should be a matter of understanding each other, a matter of trusting each other, a matter of supporting each other. And I think Jesus loved the church to submission. And this man, Ben, rest in peace, you loved me, submission. Whatever, even the cooking I ended up doing, yet I didn't like it. Cleaning I would, because he would do it gently. Can we clean? If I'm cooking, he's feeding. If I'm, And that didn't make him less of a man, and that did not make him less of the leader or the head of the household.
Civil society organizations like CEHURD are saying we can actually live a violent-free society, and let's talk about it. Because all forms of violence have been talked about, except intimate partner violence. Because it is secluded, it happens in bedrooms, it happens behind a veil. And probably we are now unmasking the ghost. Let's unmask the ghost of intimate partner violence and its manifestations so that we now live a violent-free society. It is possible.